Gentlemen, here it is, the most listened to radio show on the planet. Even the other stations are tuned in too.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast by the host or the guest do not necessarily reflect the views of Paranormal Buzz Radio or its sponsors. Use of any materials produced by Paranormal Buzz Radio without express written consent is strictly prohibited. For information on everything Paranormal Buzz Radio has to offer, visit our website, paranormalbuzzradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram. Listener discretion is advised.
Paranormal Buzz Radio is proud to present Girls vs. Ghosts Media's The Dr. Gina Show with Gina Marie. Gina is a psychic medium and an intuitive counselor who has a bachelor's degree in psychology, master's degree in counseling, and a doctorate degree in occupational therapy. The Dr. Gina Show is live on Spreaker every other Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, 6 Pacific, right here on Paranormal Buzz Radio. Be sure to follow Gina on all her social media. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your host, Gina Marie. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Dr. Gina Show. Thank you for everyone that's listening or whoever's listening to the pre-recorded show. Thank you. So just if you're never listened to my show before, there is a live chat. So in the live chat, you can write a comment, and a lot of times I'm not really paying attention to chat. So just know that if I'm channeling or if I'm talking, I can't really pay attention to chat, but I leave 20 minutes at the end of the show, and I do go into chat from there, and Shay comes on, and we both address chat, and Shay also will be looking at chat throughout like she always does. And I want to thank Shay and Matt for hosting the show for Paranormal Buzz Radio, and you can find that on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, as well as you can find me on all my social media sites, and it's just Psychic Medium Dr. Gina on Instagram and Gina Marie on Facebook, but you can always find me on Paranormal Buzz Radio. So anyway, tonight's show is about the journey of the soul. So this is one of my favorite hashtags. So if you follow me, you see that I'm always hashtagging one of my 3 favorites is the journey of the soul, because that's what I talk about a lot, because I do channel the council. Another one of my hashtags, love the council, because the council is a higher energy. I call them like the CEOs of heaven. And if you ever listen to Abraham Hicks or Esther Hicks, she channels someone in universal energy she calls Abraham. Sort of like that, but I channel the council. So like I said, it's just like the CEOs of heaven. So there's many energies. It's not just the one energy that I channel. So one time I could be channeling like one board member of the council, and another time another. They're like the experts, and they also hold the Akashic records. So if I'm doing a personal or a private reading, and I say, okay, well, my clients will know if I'm checking with the council, I'm checking with a higher energy. So there's many experts on the council that I do channel, and they are, again, they're experts of the soul's journey. They know your soul's contracts, which is written in your Akashic records. Like, I think of it, the way I see it and the way it's explained to me is like a huge library, and the council is in charge of your library books. Now, my main guide is Christopher. When I first started channeling the council, there's so many of the energies that would come to me. And when I do go to the other side, crossover, there would be many of them coming to me. And Christopher would I would channel through Christopher, who talked to the council. I don't have to do that anymore. I do directly channel the council. However, my guide, Christopher, he's one of my main guides, Christopher and Hector, two of my main guides that are always with me. And Anna, she is my angel. So I do have an angel, and they're always with me. I do channel two of the archangels, Gabrielle and Ariel, and they also help me as well. And I do channel many other supreme beings. Like if you get a reading, sometimes I channel Bruce. We call him Bruce with the juice. And I haven't spoke with Bruce in a while, but he will come into a lot of my readings and give a lot of channel information to whoever I'm doing a reading with. And also sometimes I'll have, like Anna Maria is another spirit that I channel. She's an Italian woman. She comes in sometimes. So I do pick up different spirits along the way that I do channel that help me with the readings. Now, mind you, when I'm channeling different spirits, it's never just like, I mean, if I'm reading, of course, if I'm reading for a client, I'm going to channel their aunt, their uncle, their father, their mother, their friend. But if I'm channeling a guide, I'm never just channeling like Joe Schmo. It's to be a guide or a higher being. It's a different channel that I go through, and they've earned that title to be a guide, and I channel them. So I'm not just channeling Joe from the chicken store that's giving you some information. Yes, sometimes I will channel Joe from the chicken store, but it's a different channel, and I know the difference when I'm channeling someone. And also, if I am doing a reading with my clients, and they'll all know how I start my readings, I'm always saying I put a white light around us for protection. Now, when I'm dealing with souls, whatever it is, I never used to put a white light of protection around me. And I had a few incidents where I was like, I have to make sure I put a white light of protection around me. I had some, let's say, not so inviting souls come. So from then on, I put a white light of protection around me. I always put a blue light of healing, because when I do channel spirit, it's emotional. Whether I'm channeling your lost loved one or if I'm channeling the guides, my clients will know that some of them are going to cry, because it's like they're not sympathetic. The council is not sympathetic. So if you're getting a reading with me and you're looking into your journey of soul, they're not baby you for anything. They're just pretty much telling you, you're fucking up your soul's journey. This isn't your path. This isn't what you wrote in your, Akashic records. This is not, you're not following your soul contract. And they're mean. Sometimes they're so mean that I don't even directly channel. So I come out of my channel, and regular Dr. Gina, it's funny, like regular Dr. Gina, and as you all know, I have a doctorate degree, so I also have my master's in counseling. So I was a counselor. I did marriage counseling. I did drug and alcohol counseling. I did counseling for the criminally insane. I've done lots of counseling. So I do come out and use some of my counseling rather than always a direct channel if I'm working with the client, because sometimes it is a little harsh. Or sometimes I know if you can handle this, and I am talking about your journey of the soul, I will directly channel the council. And they will say stuff to you that makes you cry or upset, but it's kind of like a tough love kind of thing, And if you listen to the council, and I tell my clients this that I work with, if you really listen to what I'm channeling, what I'm saying, you're destined to get what it is you want and need, because I'm giving you direct line information from what you wrote in your Akashic records, what your guides, your souls, what they're saying to you. They're guiding you on a path. Now, yeah, we have free will in this journey here, the journey of the soul. We have free will. Time is an illusion. Why do I say time is an illusion all the time? You hear me say it. I talk about it. Hashtag time is an illusion. It's another one of the things I write all the time. Because time is never ending. Yes, here in the human, we have time. We have to wake up at 8 o'clock or whatever. And I am an old soul. I am an advanced soul. Since I came here, I pretty much lived as a soul. I'd say even as a child, I knew I was obviously something was different since I was a kid. I really had a hard time with rules or waking up on time or someone telling me what to do. I just always knew it was wrong. Like, I just always was against it. I never could follow the norm. And again, I chose my life, as you all did. We chose our soul's journey. We chose the family we wanted to be born in. We chose some of the complications we wanted to face, all part of our soul's contract and our soul's journey. So I obviously, I didn't choose to be born into a privileged family. That's for sure. I didn't choose to be, a millionaire's family. Why I didn't choose that, I have no idea. But anyway, I didn't choose to be born in that family. I chose the family I chose. I had an amazing childhood. I love my childhood. My mother got killed when I was a couple months old, and people would say that's tragedy down here in your journey of the soul. Why would you choose that? Why? And, I didn't meet my dad till I was a teenager. Why would you have chosen, to have your mother killed? And, you chose it because I chose it because I wanted to go through it, and I had a soul contract to choose my family because they were going to raise me, a very special little child, that's for sure. My grandmother got me, but I was raised a lot with my uncles because my grandmother, so much going on back and forth. So I was raised with my Uncle Al, who was my complete idol, and his two sons, who was Alex and Papa T, or Albert. And my father, who I called him my father, was my grandmom's husband, and my grandfather. And so I was raised around a lot of men, and a lot of men that were very OG for sure. I was definitely raised on the street. So I chose all this. I chose it, and people would look at and wonder why I chose it, and say, oh, poor you lost your mom. Oh, poor you were raised this way. Even teachers that I would run into would say, oh, we felt sorry for you, whatever, And I just look back on my childhood, and I had a great time, man. My uncles people weren't allowed to hang out with me because my uncles were criminals or whatever. As being a child, I remember 4 or 5 asking my grandma, what's a criminal? Why can't they hang out with me? Very few people were allowed to hang out with me because of my uncles and my family. And guess when they did hang out with me, like I said, I was a little born witch. So what did you do when you were at my house? We played games like we played Bloody Mary and Light as a Feather and the Ouija board and all kinds of things that most little kids didn't do. So bad enough I'm in a criminal family, but I'm just a little special child. So my friends were few and far between. I had a couple friends that did hang out with me, God bless them, but I was definitely different down here in this journey, as I am. But as we go through our journey, so we do pick some of the things before we come here. We do pick our family. So we pick the circumstances, per se. Like, I chose. I have no poor me's that, my mother was killed when I was 2 months old. No poor me's that how I was raised, or no, because I chose it. I don't regret it at all. I love every part of who I was and everything I went through. It was part of my soul's journey. I only got messed up in my soul's journey when I became more human. But I was always living through my soul. As a child in high school, I was very, very smart. I didn't have to study, thank God, because studying would have been a break in the rules for me. I loved school, so that's what got me up early. Otherwise, I wouldn't have got up. But I wanted the whole socialization of school. I liked it. I never really had to study. I just listened in class and passed the test. Very, very smart. And school was really easy. College was easy for me. Everything was easy until I got to grad school, and I had to actually write papers and cite them. So you had to go back and cite them. Usually in college, I could just write the whole paper, and not even just by knowing things. But then in grad school, you had to cite where the information, that got me crazy, because now I had to actually read something, and that's when things got hard in grad school, the citing thing, writing papers and citing. But besides that, things were pretty easy for me. So school was a socialization, but I never really followed the rules on this soul's journey. You know, when I got messed up, and I can only speak from my experience to help you guys, or I can speak from the many clients, because I've been reading. I started reading probably in 2006, and that wasn't even professionally, but I started reading, friends, family, doing little psychic fairs with this place I was taking some psychic classes at. And then I hadn't started reading professionally till probably 4 or 5 years ago, when I was going along my little soul's journey here. And I went against my soul's journey because after college, I never wanted a job ever, because I tried to have a job like in school. People get those work jobs, you know, programs. I lasted like 2 weeks here and there until I realized, like, I'm not going to do any of this stuff. Like, I couldn't show up. I couldn't be there. I always knew there was something with me and time, or being in a rule, or listening to somebody. So I was a dancer since a teenager for 12 years, because I didn't have a schedule. I was one of the dancers that, like, now, like, some of the dancers have schedules, but then it was like, I showed up when I wanted. I worked the hours I wanted. I went on stage when I wanted. I did that for 12 years because I didn't have to follow any rules. I made a lot of money, showed up where and when I wanted, got through grad school, got my doctorate degree, because there was no rules. And this whole thing about a soul, like, we don't come here. We come here knowing that, you know, we want to elevate our soul when we come down here to Earth. Earth is like a school. It's like an accelerated school that we can live and go through our emotions with. We live down here with our head and our emotions. But you know, when we're born, the first organ to be formed is our heart. I was talking to a spirit today. Sometimes I might be all over topic. Sorry, guys, but I'm half channeling. I'm half listening to other people talk to me in my ears. So just kind of follow along. If you've been listening to my shows, you get how it goes. I'm channeling. I'm listening to information. Regular Dr. Gina's talking. Counselor Dr. Gina's talking. Regular Gina, who's really screwed up in herself, is talking. So we got a combination of everything going on here. So bear with me, but you'll get something out of it. So I was doing a reading today for one of my clients. And I don't know if she's listening, but if she is, she knows who she is. So I was doing a reading. I was down on the river, and the river for me is my church, where I go and I talk to my ancestors and my guides and things like that. You all know that if you follow me. So anyway, I'm down there, and I was talking to a spirit that had just recently passed away, and he was earthbound. I was talking to him, and like when I go into channel, if you're getting a reading with me, you know, I'm always like, hold on, and I'm going to the other side. And then I go to the other side, and I'm like, I see who's there. So I said to her, you know, let me see who's over on the other side. Hold on. As soon as I go and I check into the other side, it's just like I kind of just shift my consciousness, and I see him. Like, he's right there. And I'm like, he came to me. Now, when I channel spirits, sometimes if I'm talking to a client over the phone, sometimes if their friend or family member, they're over there with them, I'm like, oh, he's right with you. Sometimes, like, if they're not earthbound, I go to different dimensions. It's like a house full of mirrors for me. So sometimes they're all the way up there, and I'm trying to pull them down. Sometimes I work through another spirit that's helping me pull them down. Spirits come to me in all different ways. But this time I told her, hold on, give me a minute, let me see. So I go over there, and he was right there. And I don't know what he looks like, you know, and I explain him to a T what he looks like, because he's sitting right there. And he says to me, I go there, and he goes, hey, I'm over here. And I look, he's right there, and I'm having a conversation with him. He's an earthbound spirit, and I learn all the time when I talk to spirits. All the time I learn and I remember, but I asked him today, I said, you know, what's it like? You know, you're over there. He was talking about he wanted to clean up some garbage around this, my client's restaurant. And then he laughed, and he's like, well, you know, I can't really pick it up because, you know. And I said, yeah, I know you can't really pick it up. He was really funny. It was like talking to a friend. And it turns out that he actually knew one of my friends and gave me like crazy information that like I didn't even know. It was really insane. Every time I talk to dead spirit or something, it's always a crazy experience, and I always sometimes learn something else, but this was different. So I asked him, I said to him, what's it like, you're over there, but your life ended early. It's tragic. He had a tragic way to end. He chose the way he wanted to go. And I said, why, are you still here? Why are you earthbound? Why didn't you cross over? I asked him, like, why did you choose that? And I know that a lot of spirits down here, when they die tragically, like they're almost like it's like shock, and then they stay because they can't find the way, or they're too nervous to cross over. And basically what he told me was same thing. He liked his body, he liked who he was, and he's afraid because he don't want to give up his human. Because as I'm looking at him, I see him, he's still completely in human form to me. Now, when I see other spirits that has transitioned, they're more of an energy, and I see them in my mind's eye. But when I see earthbound spirits, I see them just like I see people, just like it. It's a whole different way that I see them. So he told me he wanted to hold on to his human. So I said, well, didn't you choose? Because this is the journey of the soul, right? You chose to leave, right? I said, this is what you chose to leave, I asked him. He said this to be true. And again, this is what he told me. He said that he did choose to have complications in his life, which he did drugs. He said he did choose that journey to overcome that. It's the journey of the soul. It's the complication that he did choose. But he didn't choose to lose to the fight of the drugs, see? In his journey of his soul, he chose that he was going to go through this journey and he would overcome it. But he didn't. That's why time's an illusion, right? He didn't overcome it. It's something he wrote in his Akashic records. It's something he wrote in his soul's journey that he wanted to go through this, but he thought he was going to overcome it, and he didn't. And that was why it was so hard for him to transition over and leave the earth, because he felt like he failed his journey of the soul. And that happens to people, souls, or whatever. And that's why, again, time is an illusion in the journey of the soul, because there's no time. So is he going to come back? He might come back again and try again to get this. That's, again, it'll continue. The soul's endless journey to continue. He wanted to overcome that. And every time it's something that you chose, something that your soul has been through before, every time you choose one of these lessons to go through down here in your journey of the soul, every time you believe you're going to pass it. You don't choose it because you're not going to pass it, right? And that's why, again, you guys follow me, it's always like hashtag pass your fucking test. Well, what does that mean? It means like when you come and you have your life pretty much bold, I call them bold-faced numbers, like if you're Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, because there's a lot of free will in between those Roman numeral 1, 2, 3s, but we picked that. So for me, for example, one of my Roman numerals that I chose was I wanted to have enough self-confidence and believe in myself to do what I wanted to do against what anyone else would think. And I had that, believe me. I had it times 30. I didn't give a fuck. Years. All the way through my 20s, doing whatever. My grandma always being like, well, what are the neighbors going to say? And I'd say, I don't give a fuck. Don't give a fuck what the neighbors say. What did you walk out of here wearing? Who cares? Like, anything. I didn't care what anyone thought. Never, ever, ever, ever. And then I talk about this in my journey of the soul. About 5, 6 years ago, I was working for the school system in New York, had a regular job, right? But not really, because I was a medical professional. So I came and made my own schedules. I saw the kids when I wanted. And then all of a sudden, the principal became our boss. Like, the networks took over. And I had a boss. Like, I was a dancer, like, for 12 years, no boss. I graduated from school. I did work in like all the hospitals, Children's Hospital, University of Penn, but I never took a regular job. I was a per diem contractor. So if I felt like working, I could go in. I did a contract. The only obligation I had was those 8 hours I said I was going to work. Never could have a schedule. So bad against the rules and the schedules because it's not what I know. I'm an advanced soul. I knew it was wrong to have these times, these bosses. I couldn't do it. So I did per diem and contract, but I kept this school job. Actually, I was a per diem contractor for the school for a while. And then I started letting people get to me. Like I said, 5-6 years ago, early 30s, late 20s. By then, I started getting pounded by society. Society telling me, oh, you have to get married. You have to have kids. And at that time, I was living, quote, unquote, in sin. And my grandmother and my family, when are you going to get married? And I had an engagement, right? My fiance at the time kept saying, when are we going to set the date? What's this? Like, I couldn't even wear the ring. Like, to me, it was so hard to bind myself to someone to say, like, oh, to death do us part marriage, what for? I used to say to my grandma, I remember, what for? Like, get married. You're married twice. Like, it don't matter. It just makes it that much harder to walk away. Like, I couldn't do it. My fiance boyfriend, he would call me 1 foot, like 1 foot in the relationship. Then he started calling me 1 toe as I came back for free. But I, for a minute, thought, okay, well, I have to get married and I have to get married. I got to do this shit. But I just couldn't think of the contract. It was difficult even to live in one place. I did love him, but I needed to have that big house and then I started working in New York. I needed freedom. As a soul, we're used to freedom. And when you are an advanced soul, you feel it. You feel it, and I felt it. But I did get trapped a little bit into society for that short period of time where I thought this is what I had to do. But I was failing my test, hashtag, right? Because I came here to be a free soul, and all of a sudden I'm working for the school system now, and they're telling me I have to clock a clock, and the principal was like, did you clock the clock? Did you clock in? And I could not clock that clock. I didn't care what it was going to happen. There was no possible way I was clocking the clock because now I had to be accountable. I would not clock it. Nope. I wouldn't check out for my lunch hour or tell me I have a half an hour to eat. I never went by that. It just made no sense to me. As long as I did my job, I saw my kids, I couldn't do it. So, of course, after a little bit of that, she wasn't liking that because she was the boss. And I wasn't going by the rules. So that job didn't last long, me trying to have a boss, probably a couple of years the most. But at that time, I rebelled against everything. So I got pushed out, my journey of the soul. But I was messed up for a while. I was following society. I was going against my journey. I wasn't supposed to do that. I was chose to come here and be a free soul. And what I was supposed to do was exactly what I'm doing now. I'm supposed to come here and help people wake up to their journey of the soul. I'm supposed to talk to your dead spirits, your relatives, to let you know that time is an illusion, time carries on. But I was going against my journey of the soul. So what did my spirit guides? I have some powerful guides for sure, definitely. They were pushing me. And what did they do? They gave me a court case because I got a court case. I was going against the little rules or whatever. And then I had no choice but to start doing readings, because they pushed me out of that. And I rebelled again. I was failing my test, hashtag pass your test. And I started seeing kids again, but this time I started doing it for myself. I contracted. And even then it was hard for me. I was, again, going against what I chose to do on my journey of the soul. I was doing the wrong thing. And I had this guy that I was seeing and hanging out with, and he was telling me about these spiritual journeys. And this was probably, the first one I did was actually 3 years ago in August, right? Yeah. So he was telling me he's doing these spiritual journeys, blah, blah, and he's like, you should do one. All right. So I really trusted this guy, believed him. I did it, and it was like the first one, I did like 5 so far, but that first one I did was life-changing. It pretty much told me that I'm messing up my journey of the soul. Like, I'm here to help people, to bring them to this higher consciousness, to an awareness. And here I am following rules, man, society rules. I wasn't going along with my soul's journey, what was written. So one thing led to another, and I got out of that job, not on my own, but I was pushed a little. And now, only since July 1st actually, have I stopped trying to fight the journey of the soul of mine. And I've just given in to this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk on this radio show. I'm going to do bigger lectures and shows and really just be more public in what it is I have to do. I was pushed to do this. Some people in their journey of the soul weren't pushed as much, or maybe they're not as connected as me, or maybe they're not in touch, or they don't have someone to help them with the journey of the soul to give them that direction. But when you're going against your journey of your soul, what it is, your purpose here, everything, the universe moves. Like, look what it did for me. And again, this won't happen for everyone. Every soul's different. Every guidance is different. But it pushes you in the direction. It kind of leads you off the path. It's kind of like that thing when you're the direction thing, MapQuest or something, you're driving and it says, turn left, and you go off path, and it's like, oh, turn back around, turn right. It puts you back on track, right? That's, for me, the counsel, your spirit guides. They're always trying to help you. Turn left, turn around too. They're trying to guide you, right? Move you back in, turn you back around, kind of direct you, show you like where you're supposed to go. And that's what the counsel helps me help my clients with. They're just trying to help you with what it is you came here to do, one of the missions you came here for. And everyone, there's different souls. There are different levels of souls, which I talk about continuously. There's different levels. There's some, it's like a TV or a movie, We got the background people, I call them fillers. They just don't have much of a soul. I can look at people and see how old their soul is, what they've been through, what their mission is. I can tell where they're at in life. And just some of them, have different smaller roles. Everyone has a role. Some, how some people in a movie, they just might have, they have one word they're supposed to say, hey, that's their one role. Well, some souls down here, that's it. They just have that. They're just supposed to interact with someone at one time. Maybe they're supposed to hit them with a bike, whatever. That was their one role for this one person in this whole big show of things, right? They're just a small little baby soul. That was their first speaking role. Some, kind of, if you're looking at it in a movie's way. Souls elevate. The reason we come here, and I learned this from one of my spiritual journeys, because I remember, and again, the guy I was seeing would tell me, he's like, tell me some of the things I said, but was like, why am I here? I wanted to get rid of this body, man. And I still feel it sometimes. Like, I walk around and I'm like, sometimes I forget my body. I'm so out of body. Like, I almost got hit by a car a few times, I remember, because I kept forgetting my body. It was a time when I was really elevating. I was going like into moving dimensions. And I have to keep remembering my body, because like, you got to bring it with you, right? And sometimes my body just gets so heavy, like, the fuck it. And it's so hard for me to like keep taking care of this freaking body. Sometimes it's just like, oh God, I have to cut my hair. Oh my God, like, it's just so much work. This body is so much work. I got to feed it. I got to do it's a lot of work having this body, it's a lot. Sometimes I just like thinking, oh Jesus Christ, like, my body, I got to bring it with me wherever I go. And it's definitely tough dragging this body around down here in the journey of the soul. And everyone gets like hooked on this body, and we choose the body, what we're supposed to look like and stuff based on our journey of our soul and things like that. So it's just, you're constantly being redirected down here, and you have a guidance system, and that's your guides, your souls, your angels. They're always helping you. And yes, you can't always get into them, but I can, and there's a lot of people who can help you with this, to help you in your guidance system to do your best of your abilities, because not everyone's going to be able to obviously do what I do, because people say, can you learn this? Well, not to some extent. Like, can you learn to be a witch or whatever? People do these magic things, whatever, or they learn these witchcraft. But it's something that you're born into. Like, you're born a witch. You're born. And you have the different natural abilities to come here because you're protected, and you need that special for your soul's journey. You need to be this because you need to be equipped with it. So not everyone is here. Yes, can you learn your intuition? Sure. Can you be a little more intuitive? Yes. Can you learn to listen to souls or spirit? To some ability, but not everyone's going to be a pro tennis player no matter how much they practice. They're not going to be Serena or Venus, but hey, they can learn to hit the racket, right? So it's depending on what you're here for and what your soul's journey is going to take you to or for, what you're equipped with, why you come here. But I'll tell you one thing I know for sure, though, is we're all here to elevate our soul. Because when we go back to heaven, that's what I call it, heaven, or, the other side, we want to be a higher soul. It's like going to college, right? So when we're over there, we're that much better. We're that much higher. We learn. I would never choose this hell. And I learned that again from my spiritual journey. Like, why the hell am I here? Well, I came here because I have a soul's mission, right? My soul's mission is to help as many souls as I can to elevate their consciousness. But not just that, but I have my own human things. And if you're my friend, human Gina, holy shit, like, human Gina gets really confused sometimes. And I'm failing my test, and I'm worried about different things that once I reconnect, and I'm just like, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't care who's in my life or who's fucking me over or screwing me over. Like, I don't care. But if you're fucking me over and screwing me over, it's probably not a good idea. That's for sure. That is for sure. But I don't, like, that'll be dealt with. But I don't care. It doesn't ruin my soul's journey, like what someone thinks about me. Or, like, even like being young in school, like boyfriends or things, I never cared. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that he's done and the next one. I had got caught up before in that, but I believe that because it would be a soul contract between some of the guys I was with, or, and I still love a few of my exes that I've been with, and one of them's gone, but he was always in my heart. And, I still love them. And I love them for everything they are and everything they gave me. It doesn't mean I want to be with them, but I have love for them. They're probably part of my soul's family. We had soul contracts. It's a different feeling you get. But just because you love someone and you had a soul contract with them, and that's a whole nother show because I'm running out of time, doesn't mean you have to be with them in the human. Okay, so we all know that, and people ask for this if I don't do it, is I give a universal message. And if you follow me on my Instagram or my Facebook, I don't use the cards, if you read with me. But I do give universal messages and use the cards, and I'm going to do that now. So I use the Rider-Waite deck card, and I like to use, when I give this message, I also like to say, okay, this is a universal message. It's going to resonate with someone out there. It is. But what I like to add to this, and if you follow me, you know what I like to do. I like to practice manifesting, right? So I give like a sign to manifest. So I say, if this message is for you, if it resonates with you, right? Then I also say, well, look for a sign, because that's your guide showing you this message is for you. Actually, before I got on the show tonight, one of my friends from jiu-jitsu, he's like one of the cool guys that I actually really like, he sent me a picture of safety pin earrings. I was like, why are you sending me these? He's like, I just want to see, as your woman's point of view, do you think they're expensive, like $600 and something? Well, everyone that follows me or knows, like, safety pins is my guide signed to me, saying that everything's safe, I'm going to be okay. And it was like right before I did the show, and I haven't done the show in a few weeks. And here he is sending me these safety pins. And he's like, again, one of the guys from jiu-jitsu. He's one of what I consider to be a really good friend. So it was like such a sign, right? So anyway, so let's listen to this message, and whoever this message resonates with, it's for you. Okay. Whew, and this is an amazing message. Jesus. Holy shit. Okay. Here's your message, guys. So I'm just going to go and channel. This is an amazing message. Holy shit, couldn't be any better. But you are heading into the relationship that you always wanted. It's actually there. So this person's already in your life. It's just that it is going to bloom into, commitment, like best friend, life partner, something that is amazing. You're going to have an agreement on some type of commitment or moving ahead towards each other. Crazy, amazing, passionate sex. Just have to say, like, this is like hot sex, man. It's the card that's coming up. The relationship could not be any better. And it's definitely, this message is for a woman, because this woman has come into her power. She is fierce, and she's coming into her power, and that's why everything is coming into play for her, because she's finally becoming who she is and needs to be, and she's taken all of her power back, and she's very in tune with nature, and she is in power. She is a higher soul. In the next 3 months is when the relationship is already there. The person's already in your life. But in the next 3 months is when you're going to see this grow into something that you've been always wanted for. This has to be one of the best relationship readings I've ever seen for someone. Unfreaking believable. Okay, so the manifestation would be, this is like a cross necklace that you will be seeing. So something about like a cross or a rosary bead, okay? So that would be the manifestation. So, man, that was amazing. I'm going to listen to the show again because I channeled a lot. So I'm going into chat now. So this means I will pay attention to any questions, and Shay's going to come on at this time, and I'm going to answer some questions about anything I said, anyone that's listening. And you guys, I don't know, I can't really see who's listening. Obviously, I can't see. So I would really appreciate it, like, if you're in there, just say hi to me or let me know that you're in chat, because sometimes, it's hard doing these shows. Like, I feel like I'm talking to air. So, hi, guys, if you're out there, and go into chat, bring Shay on, and let's see what we can talk about. So, in chat now, guys, I'm going to go through any questions or anyone that's in here and see who's here. So, hello, Jennifer. Hello, Joanna. Hi, Wolf. All you guys are in chat. And hi, and Shay's here. So thank you all for who said hello in chat. I really, really appreciate it. And it was funny because me and Shay were talking before, like, I will call in the show, to talk to Shay before we start all the time. We have like 5-minute conversation, 5-minute catch up. And I was laughing with Shay because I was saying, Shay, there's so many people that will be listening, but I don't know. They're not like commenting, they're not in chat. And then I laugh because there'll be people that I know that'll say things to me, like quote something about something I know I said. And I'm like, man, these people are listening, but they're not telling me they're listening. Or I'm sure I have people that don't like me that are listening or looking for me to fuck something up that are listening because, and we're laughing at that. I'm like, how many of my haters are out there listening? I just want to say hey to them. Hi, guys.
Thanks for
you
the
give me more energy.
Haters. Yep.
Yeah. Every time you listen, you give me more energy to grow my goals. And anything that you don't want good to happen to me makes it happen even that much better. So thank you all for listening. I want to give a shout out to all you guys. Hi. Okay. So Joanna says, how do you know when you're ready to make a career move that is scary? That's a good question. I think I kind of touched on this a little bit. Like I said, I totally was going against that, not making my career move. I spent 10.5 years in school getting a doctorate degree. For what? I just remember being a dancer on the stage, and the owner of the bar she came to the stage and she's like, you should quit college. It's a waste of time, You're in there trying to get this job. And I remember looking at her thinking, she's so crazy. She's, at that time, for me, she was older. She was like, 40-something. And I was like, she's all this crazy. And I looked down at her, and then I had a boyfriend at the time that wanted me to quit, Brian, God rest his soul. And he said he wanted me to quit. And she's like, don't stay with the boyfriend, don't listen to him, because he wanted me to be a bartender, which I actually did for a little while before I lied to him and went back to dancing. But anyway, it was that part where I looked at her and I said, shit, man, I should have stayed dancing. I shouldn't have went to college. It just got me a whole bunch of student loans. It wasn't my journey. It wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. It was going against everything. I was listening to society. I was smart, so it was easy. Get a job, go to college. Don't be this, dancer. It's so terrible. I listened, but guess what? I should have stayed the dancer. I should have made a lot more money and just stayed there, and then found this, which I was already doing card readings for the girls in the dressing room. It's fun, just, because now that I do this, some of the girls I used to dance with will be, we always told you, we knew. But anyway, so Joanna, it's just like it's something that's in you. Like you go against the signs, man. The signs were always there for me when I look back, and obviously you know what happened to me. I fought the signs, and I fought the signs. And what did the universe do? It got me thrown out. I had to go to anger management and stuff for working because I realized I couldn't work with people. So, you know, you see the signs, you know, the signs are what's telling you. It's waking you up. So how do you know when it's time to go? Because there's no possible way you can do it. That's how it was with me. Like when I had that job working for the school, and I do talk to my friends or family, there's no possible way. When I did it, every day that I went to that job, it was like someone would beat me up. It was torture. It was kind of just like the same thing if someone put any rules on me, like marriage. Like, yes, I love to be in a committed relationship with a partner that's mine, yes, but don't make me sign a paper, man. Don't make me like I'm out. I can't. Like, I have no constraints. So you just know when it's just constraining you. Like, I had to go to anger management because I was yelled at I lost it. I couldn't be nice to people. You just know because you're just at the breaking point where you cannot possibly do it no more. It physically hurts. It seems so off. And that's when you know you're off your path. That's why people are so miserable. They go to jobs every day or do something they hate because they think they have to pay the bills that way. But when that shit hurts, man, it's what, you know it's time to go. And that's it, when it just no longer hurts you and you don't give a shit. I remember, like, even now in July, after I just lost this other contract I had, and I was like, should I do full-time mediumship? And I was like, how am I going to do it? Like, I was a little nervous. Am I going to be able to afford it? And that's the scary part. Have no fear, because you're going to be supported on your soul's journey no matter what. Like, you just got to throw the shit in. You got to throw it and just jump and know that when you're on your soul's journey, you're going to be caught. You're going to be caught no matter what. You have to have that. Otherwise, it's torture. So, Joanna, you know, because you just can't do it no more. So, let's see. What is this?
Wolf has a question.
Wolf says, what message do you hope that people get from listening to your show? That's cool. Okay, Wolf, so I think I address that sometimes. Like, first of all, I want all the haters to listen because, no, I just want them to give me energy. But I love it. I want people to get from listening to my show just a message, even if it's one thing. But the main thing, I know, this is what I know. Like, you know my story. Mostly people know. If you don't, I've been talking and seeing dead people since I can remember my youngest memory. You know, they were there. They were waking me up. At that time, they were scary to me, for sure. But I know that conversation I had with the Earthbound Spirit today for one of my clients, like, I love talking to spirit. I love it, love it, love it. There's no thing. So what I want people to know is time is an illusion. Like, you don't die. Your soul continues. Death is just, like, it's hard for me to live because I know how great death is. I'm just here because I have to help people. I'm trying to wake them up, trying to let them know that life goes on. Life's the journey of a soul. But I could die tomorrow as long as I know my cats are okay. And that's probably one of the reasons, like, I don't have kids, I don't have marriage, like, because I know that I don't want to have anything responsibilities. I can't even have a dog. Like, it's very difficult for me to have a house or take care of it. I have one. I have a couple of them, but I have other people taking care of them because I can't be tied because I am such a free soul. I have a hard time with that. So what I need people to know is your soul is freedom, man. This society puts too many rules and boundaries on you. I want you to listen to my show so I can help you be free, to help you have not any fear, to know that death is amazing, man. Death is amazing. Just get everything you can when you're here, because when we die, it's heaven, man. It's really heaven. And it's hard for me to live, but I'm here to live for you guys. That's why I'm here. That's why I decided to come here, is to help you. Yes, I have my own lessons I have to pass, but the main thing I want to do is just wake people up to understand that there's no death. It just goes on. So let's see.
Wolf
Thank
has
you,
another
Gina.
question. But
Okay.
I'll read it to you only because I want to add to it a little bit because this is something
Okay.
I was already thinking of asking. So thank you, Wolf.
Okay.
He asked, what are your thoughts? But I'm going to add to it a little. He said, what is your thoughts on
Okay.
people with psychic medium abilities that are afraid to use these abilities? I was going to ask, what is your advice to these people that have
people
that really have abilities that are afraid of them?
Okay, so let me just channel this because, I don't know, it will be better, so hold on. So when you're born with gifts or abilities, you're born with them for a reason. Okay, you might not be born with them because you're going to be the next medium psychic that's on a show, or that's not it. Some people have lesser roles with these psychic medium abilities. Some people might just have that role just because you're supposed to help. Say you're a teacher, so you're having that because you're looking for insight for your students, because you'll know that you're working in an underprivileged place, and all of a sudden you have an intuition there's something wrong with this child. So people are given them for different reasons. Not everyone is supposed to or have to share them publicly. It's given because of different ways or different avenues that you're in. So you must first know, what is it, your arena? What's your soul's journey? Why do you have these gifts? Where's your soul's at? What are you supposed to do with your abilities? What's your level of ability? What are you supposed to share? So anyway, that was channeled. So now I, as regular Dr. Gina, is going to give you some input on that. That was what Spirit said. So for me, what do I think that people don't use it? I just think it's for me, I did it. Not that I say I didn't use it, but I was in the psychic closet. I didn't want anyone to know. I was a doctor. I was on the Upper East Side of New York. I was working with children, private clients, making a lot of money. The last thing I wanted someone to know, I was a witch psychic medium. Are you kidding me? She's a weirdo. Or anyone to know that, because they're going to judge me. And I had to break out of that because this is what I'm supposed to do. So it depends on what arena you're in, I would say, and what it is you're supposed to be doing in your life and your soul's journey. Sometimes your psychic abilities or medium abilities is something that you're not supposed to share with the world. Again, it's because you're in a certain role that you were given, because that's given to you for, again, you're a teacher, or you could be a therapist, or it's given to you for different arenas. So you don't necessarily always have to share it in a large audience. So did that help anyone?
That's a good answer.
Did that give a good answer?
There's a couple more in there.
Okay. What do we see here? Do you believe there's a difference between a spirit guide? Oh, yeah. Yes, for sure. There's a difference between a spirit guide and a guardian angel. I have two main spirit guides, Christopher and Hector, and there's a difference between them two guides. And I have different guides that come in and out and guide me at different times. I have different spirit animals, just like many do, different spirit animals that come and guide me for different reasons. Guides come and go. They come and go. They come through our lives for short periods of times, and sometimes we have ones that stay. Depending on your soul and what kind of advanced soul you are, it depends on the help you get. Again, more advanced souls will have more of a guidance system. It's just how it is, because you need more. Angels are very different. I have an angel that has been with me. Not everyone. I've found very few people to have an angel that's with them all the time, for sure. Angels come and go. They come in time and need. They're sent to us for whatever we need the love to get through. They don't usually stay. Again, that's for different reasons. My angel's Anna. She's always been with me. But not everyone has one all the time, but they do have them at different times. And again, some angels do stay, or they come and they go back and forth. It's a huge difference. Angels come from love. They're a pure being. They are all love. They're universal love. A lot of spirit guides have been earthbound before. A lot of spirit guides were on the earth. They lived a human life. I've only talked to one angel that lived a short life. Most angels have never been on earth before. There was one angel. Actually, it's Joanna's angel. She's actually in here. I talked to her angel, Maria, and she actually lived a short life, I found out. So Joanna, remember that. Joanna was one of the first angels that I had channeled with her angel Maria. And then I was telling Joanna, I was like, yeah. I said, this angel came to you, were in the hospital when you were at 9, and Joanna didn't even remember that story. And I remember she talked to her mom, and then she was like, yeah, I was. And that was like one of the first angels I channeled, because I didn't even know about channeling angels before at all. I didn't even channel angels. I didn't think I could. And then that came to me. Her first, that was the first angel.
Channeling? Or is it them passing a message? Or is that the same thing?
Archangel Gabriel and Ariel are two angels that work with me, two of the archangels that I channel, and they help me. They're higher archangels that I have a really good connection with. But angels, I have amazing, I'm going to do a show on angels, as a matter of fact. Let me put that in, because I have a lot to talk about angels.
Yes.
And it's a whole different ball game, angels and spirit guides. It's a whole different realm, man. So I will definitely do a show about that, because I have some cool angel things for sure. So do we see, Krista says, what happens once we pass our test? On our path, can we make new Krista's funny. She's like, can we make new contracts? No. We write the contracts before we come here. Some of us get continually stuck in that, passing that test per se. We get stuck in the lesson. Like, again, some of us, I always throw myself under the bus. It doesn't matter. I think God has put me through basically everything by now, just so that I can talk about it. But one of my tests was when I became more human. Again, that was that 4 or 5 years of a short period. I was screwed up. One of my tests was to have no fear, to actually do what it was that my path was on. And I kept failing, and I have to do this, or I have to do that. Or another one of my tests was to, just have enough self-confidence in myself and who I am. And I still fail that, actually. And I'm still not passing that. So you continually keep getting lessons in it until you elevate. And again, I talk about the emotional scale a lot, raising your vibration. So that will continue. But can we make new contracts while we're here? No, we already have them set.
So once
we either
go
through those lessons.
Once you learn your lesson, you don't get a new contract till you're reincarnated?
Right. Yeah. We already have our soul's lessons here. And that's what we choose. We don't say, she passed them, because time is an illusion for sure. But it doesn't even really repeat. Like, we don't even come back as another soul with a new lesson. We just pass that, So it's like, you're not going to come back and say, in this life, I'm going to get a new lesson. No, you become more elevated soul. Sometimes people come here with no lessons. Not everyone has a lesson. There is times when you just come to give or to be a filler, or, it's different. Like, there's not always a repeat for a lesson. Not everyone has one. Not everyone's failing. Not everyone. It's different for everybody. It's just really different. Everybody's different.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So let's just look at Carol Ann.
Yep, she has a question for you.
What is she saying here?
Do you think you can just be very intuitive? I feel this is what I have. Why do you think this gift is given to some people?
Okay, it helps when Shay reads the question too, because
I'll
I can comprehend it and channel when she reads. It's so much better for me. I think there's people that are intuitive. Intuition. It's kind of just like this. Like, I train jiu-jitsu, right? And I also train Muay Thai. So let's talk about an MMA fighter. Some MMA fighters are like pros at jiu-jitsu, right? Black belts in jiu-jitsu. So when they go into an MMA fight, which is a whole rounded fight, there's wrestlers, jiu-jitsu, boxing, karate. It's like a whole mixed bag, right, when you're an MMA fighter. But they only use, maybe they're using their jiu-jitsu, or they're using their intuition. I mean, they're using their jiu-jitsu. So it's kind of like a person that's a psychic or a medium, like me. I am a psychic and a medium. Now, some people are just psychic, or, some people are just intuitive. It makes up a whole mixed bag of things. Like, not everyone's an expert or good at everything, but you can be in that realm. Just like an MMA fighter might not even know karate or wrestling, but they're still an MMA fighter, you see. It's just, it makes up a whole thing. So you can be intuitive, but you're not a psychic medium, but you have an intuition. You can be an empath, but you're not a psychic medium. Everything, it's a different, we'll call it gift, not skill set. So everyone has, and some people don't have it at all, but it's a different gift, I should say. And why is the gift given to some people and not other people? It's given to you for your life path, you know. It's part of what, it's not even given to you. I can't even say it's given to you because it wasn't given to me. As long as my DNA, I go back, it's part of me. It wasn't even like given to me. It's like who I was made up, what I am or is. It's not like someone's here and while you're on earth, we're going to give you intuition. No, it's just part of who you are and what's made up to be for you. Like that. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yep.
Did I explain that?
Yep.
Right.
They're still coming in here. Wolf wants to know, what advice can you give people to be able to tell a real psychic from a fake one?
Oh, this is another show. I have to start making notes of shows I have to do.
Here, I'll start writing it down. You do your thing. I'm making a list.
Because I definitely want to do one on angels.
Yeah, I've got it written down for you.
That's so funny about the whole psychic thing. Like I said, I was embarrassed to tell people who and what I did my whole life, even though if you were around me, even my boyfriends in high school would be like, oh, she's a witch. You know, do you know, if you spend enough time around me, you know there's definitely something. But how do you know the difference between a fake psychic? Well, there's differences, okay? First of all, I am a medium. So when I do a reading, I'm going to tell you something about your relative or you that only spirit would tell me. Like, I'll tell you, you know, your dead Uncle Frank's here or something. So you know a medium because a medium, there's different types of mediums because there are mediums that channel spirit, but it's a different way. Like, I can actually talk to them like they're here. So there's different levels. So there could be a psychic that says they're psychic because they're intuitive, but they don't know any better. So they're calling themselves psychics because that's just what they think, but they're actually just intuitive or they're empathic. They just don't know the difference. There's people, many people that I've encountered, they say they're a medium. Well, they don't know any better because they think they're hearing from spirit or they're getting feelings, and they're not really, to me, you know, it's very, very few types of mediums that can actually channel the, you know, higher spirits or actually channel your ancestors or your dead family. That is a medium, but people call themselves mediums who are psychics. And I don't think that's wrong. I just don't think they understand. And there's no rule book. Like when you're a doctor, you went to med school. You know, when you're an osteopath, you know, or you're an OBGYN, you have your specialty. You're a doctor. You know what you are because you have this degree. So in this field, it's difficult because there's no black and white. I used to teach psychic school, per se. I remember I taught in Mount Laurel. So I was one of the teachers there, and the people would come through and they would swear they were psychic mediums or whatever they were. And I just remember with some of the real true psychic mediums that I did teach with, we'd be like, you know, it wasn't like there was some crazy ones. I can't say there wasn't, but they didn't know better. No one wrote the rule book, you know, and I would definitely say, like, you know, you're not really a medium, but you do have, like, but how are they going to know? You can't hold these psychics say they're wrong because they're actually trying to help people. They're trying to help you.
They just don't know how to label it.
Yeah. Right. So it's kind of like, I don't want to say they're all fakes. There are some people who definitely are fakes and they want to sell you a stone or do energy work. There's another show, Shay, okay,
all right,
me talking about energy, fake work, negativity and shit. But, yeah, so people don't know. They'll say, oh, I'm psychic, I'm this and this. Oh, I'm talking to my guides and told me that but it's just that they don't know better. There's no rule. Like, yes, I can tell you who's psychic. Yes, I can tell you who's medium. And there's very few people that like me who can actually label this or tell you that, but it's one of these things where you got to understand these people are trying. There are, again, no good people, but there's a lot of really nice people that are actually trying to help, and they believe they're psychic. So it's a tough call. So you just have to know what feels good for you. For me, like, I'll do a reading with a person. There's no denying I'm a medium because I tell them things there's no way that, I would know. I'm connected to their dead relatives. So when you're with somebody, you'll know when you get a reading with them what they really are just by what they're able to give you. That's the best way. Unfortunately, you might have to get a couple readings before you understand, like, not that one, not that one, not that one, and then that one's the one.
This could be a whole show in itself.
Oh yes, even for me, when my clients,
because
my friends will tell you.
You as a medium are awesome, but it doesn't mean you'll be the perfect fit for everybody. So just because you get something wrong or don't connect with somebody doesn't mean you're not real either. It's like so many catch-22s when it comes to this stuff.
Right, and here's another thing. You could not be a psychic medium, but call yourself one. And people might love you just because you're a nice person and you're actually helping them.
Yeah.
So you could say you're a psychic medium, and that person wants to keep going to you because you're just nice, man, and you're helping them. You make them feel good. Does that make you not a psychic medium? Well, no. If you're helping someone, why not? Why wouldn't you be? You help them. It doesn't matter. Like, the label is difficult. It's a difficult label for that, for sure. Yep. It's a difficult label. And there's no certificate to say, hey, she's a chef. She went to chef school. There's so many people that are better than chefs that went to chef school that can cook in their own kitchen, but they don't have that chef degree. They didn't go to chef school, but they're a freaking good chef.
Yep.
So
we've touched on it before, but it could be a whole show of the difference between intuitive, medium, psychic.
Oh, yeah.
Because there is differences. It's just a matter of, it's taken me a long time, and I have some of it down, some of it I don't. We still have more questions in chat here.
I don't even have I don't even have it all down yet.
No.
And I even for me to get a reading with someone, I love people that do. I don't do tarot cards, and some mediums think tarot cards are a joke. Okay, I love getting a tarot card reading. I don't even care if it's right. I'm having fun. I'll get tarot card readings just because, to me, I'm having a great time. My energy's up. I'm laughing with whoever's doing my reading, and I'm having a great time. I don't even know if they're channeling. I don't know anything. Do I get psychic readings from people that probably aren't psychic? I sure do. You know why? Because I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah,
it's fun.
But you know that going in, so.
So I do it because it's fun. I like it. So I wouldn't get so caught up. I just worry about, is this person fake? No. Well, if you had a good time and enjoyed it, it was a good experience. Whether they're fake, whatever their ability is, if you enjoyed it, then that's good.
If you learned something from it, awesome.
Yeah. So, we got another question?
Yeah, Krista, we have two more questions, and we're already well over an hour, so we have two more questions in here. So, Krista wants to know, is everyone who chose a difficult life an elevated soul?
No. No. Sometimes you have a difficult life because you're here to help other people. You could just be a filler with a difficult life. There's lots of fillers that are just ass out. But, their ass out is going to help someone to donate to them or raise another soul. So just because you have a difficult life doesn't necessarily make you an elevated soul or a filler. It depends. Everything is so different. So no.
Good answer. Jennifer wants to know, how do we make our intuition stronger?
Oh, that's another whole show and a half, but let me try to just test it. When I give you the little test, my reading today, right? I was I give you a reading and I give you a little manifesting. You got to just test your intuition. Just feel. I made a fucked up decision recently and I'm definitely not a filler. I made a really bad decision, and I went against my intuition because it's hard to tell. And I went and did something against my intuition and trusted and chose this person. And based on a couple other people saying, "No, it's good," but it's just, you make your intuition stronger by believing, because now I look back and I go, holy fuck, like, my intuition said that. I have high intuition. Why did I go against it? You know, so you make your intuition by when you start to believe in it and don't let your brain get in the way. And that's what I did. I screw up. My intuition screws up. It's not a perfect system. So do I make my intuition better? No. As strong as I am in things, my intuition is not stronger because your brain gets in the way. So my intuition could be so on point, but my brain goes, "Oh no, that's wrong, Gina." So it's not even about making it stronger. It's about trusting and believing, getting your brain out of the way. And I don't even have that down. Like, it's hard to make it stronger. It's just like to believe and go with your belief, your intuition, because it's a hard thing, because we have this brain, and the brain helps us function down here, but that's not your intuition.
Yeah, true.
So, anything else?
I think we're all caught up, and of course they are all saying thank you. Great show.
Okay. Well, thank you, everyone, for listening, and anyone that's listening on the replay. And I don't know why I have to keep saying this today, but I just feel like I want to give a shout-out to the people that are listening that don't really interact. They just sit in the background, and shout out to them, too.
Because they're much appreciated. Right. Some people don't want to be in chat, and I get that. Some people just like listening, you know?
Right. And I love the people that are listening that are learning. And I love the people that are listening that, you know, are listening because they want to listen, because they want to know something.
Yeah. I hear you. I also thank those haters that are listening. Thank you for...
I know. A big shout out to the haters, especially a big shout out to the haters.
Yeah.
And you know what? My Instagram, I have my business Instagram, Psychic Medium Dr. Gina Marie, and that you know, I'm in channel, I give a lot of messages, but I have my regular Instagram, which is Gina 318, and that's like regular Gina mixed with a little bit of intuition, and I had it, I remember it was public, and it was public because then I'd show up on searches and you meet people and you interact. I had a public Instagram for a while. And then I got a little taken over by negativity and certain haters and, you know, different women that would, you know, guys would say, "Oh, this woman said this," or she said, you know, guys' girlfriends or whatever. And I was like, okay, I'm making it private, you know, and then I made it private for a while. And just recently I went back to public because I just thought, you know what, good, you want to judge this or take this picture, you know, fine, because all that negativity that I did pick up, because I did, was my own fault. That's a whole other show, negativity. I picked up the negativity because I allowed it to. So now I'm pushing it back, and I'm all grateful for, you know, my friends, guys who I train jiu-jitsu. I train with a lot of guys, and their wives or their girlfriends, or even guys that I dated or whatever, whoever, they want to pick this up and send it back to me. Thank you. I appreciate it because it's just making me that stronger. So
I've said this before, and I know this is the Dr. Gina show, not the Dr. Shay show, because
no, this is your show too.
I don't have a but I think when it comes to negativity, you shouldn't feel bad for feeling it, because it hurts people's feelings. The whole thing is to feel it and move on. Don't dwell on it.
Yeah, and it gets you, man. I'm going to do a show on this because it really got me sick.
Yeah,
it got me sick. And I was pissed. I'm like, how the fuck does this negativity get me? This shit got me, and I was so mad. And now it never gets me, man, but it got me, and it wasn't too long ago, like 4 or 5 months ago. Like, shit got me.
Feel it.
Yeah, I felt it. I got sick. It was horrible.
On. Push it away. Move on. Because the longer you hold on to it, the longer, Yeah, it
eats you. Eats you. And it got me. And that's not happening no more. No way. No more. But, Well, thanks, everyone. Thanks for listening. Thank you, Shay. Thank you, Matt. Thanks, everyone, for coming on the show. And all you guys that are listening to the pre-recorded versions, feel free to follow us on social media. Any suggestions, anything you want to talk about on this show, I'm open to it. Any criticisms, I like that, too, because, like, you know, I don't even call it criticism. Like, I grow by something that I might have screwed up with.
Criticism.
Yeah, constructive. None of it bothers me. I don't take none of it personally. I grow from it, so that's welcome too. Yep. All right, thank you, everyone, and thank you, Shay.
You're welcome. We will be back in 2 weeks. October 21st, you'll be back.
Okay, all right. I'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.